On to some other news. The collective value of Australian homes has hit a new record high, clawing back all that was lost when the market bottomed out in January. CoreLogic's Home Value Index measures the change in daily property worth. It's up more than 8% for the year. That includes an increase of more than 11% for properties in Sydney and Brisbane. To look more at this, Tim Lawless, the head of research at CoreLogic, joins me now. Tim, a new high of property values despite the environment of rising interest rates, Tim.
G'day, Kieran. Yeah, it is a little bit surprising or counterintuitive in some ways that we're achieving this new milestone amid such high cost of debt against a background of nearly record level of indebtedness, alongside very deeply pessimistic consumer sentiment. But I think it's really just the fact that we're still seeing listing numbers or available supply remains very low against a backdrop of demand that could be probably described as fairly average. We're definitely not seeing the number of home sales shooting the lights out, but this is really a supply-driven upswing in the housing market.
Adelaide, Brisbane, among the strongest cities in terms of the increase. What do you put down that strength down to?
Well, I'd add Perth to that list as well. Perth, in fact, is the strongest housing market across Australia at the moment. But each of those three cities do have some similarities. They have very low advertised stock levels, generally about 35 to 40% below average for this time of the year. They're generally more affordable, at least relative to the major capital cities. And they also have a more diverse blend of population growth, not just overseas migration, but also interstate migration that has a much more direct correlation with purchasing demand, especially in Perth and Brisbane. You couldn't really argue the same interstate migration trend for South Australia anymore, which has really started to slow down.
Tim Lawless from CoreLogic, great to chat. Thank you on an interesting day in terms of home values.